Hi everyone, this is Michael Butterman speaking to you from inside beautiful Mackey Auditorium, where on March 17th, the Boulder Philharmonic will be presenting its next concert featuring the brilliant pianist Angela Cheng. March 17th is a Wednesday night, first of all, so do take note of that. It's also St. Patrick's Day, so naturally we'll be performing a program featuring music by French and Polish composers. Makes perfect sense, right? Well, it does when you consider the fact that 2010 marks the 200th anniversary of the birth of perhaps the greatest composer of piano music who ever lived, Frédéric Chopin. Chopin was born and educated in Poland, but lived most of his adult life in Paris, and his music reflected the influence of those two cultures. Our concert explores those two worlds. We're opening with a work called Homage à Chopin by Sir Andrzej Panufnik. Panufnik, along with Lutosławski and Penderecki, was part of a brilliant trio of Polish avant-garde composers in the 20th century. But Panufnik was also interested in Polish folk music and recognized how great a role that folk music had played in the works of his famous countryman Chopin. His Homage à Chopin, which is scored for flute and strings, doesn't directly quote any of the compositions of his famous compatriot, but rather it draws on the same sense of rustic rhythms and melodies that Chopin loved so much and that flavored so many of his best-loved compositions. And then the main event, the absolutely beautiful Piano Concerto No. 2 by Chopin, a work that he wrote in his late teens. Incredible. And though it's all marvelous, the glorious second movement stands out, described by his friend and rival, Franz Liszt, as being of a perfection almost ideal. Angela Cheng is well remembered in Boulder from her years on the faculty at CU. We're so pleased that this world-class artist and Chopin specialist will be joining us in this anniversary celebration of Chopin, the poet of the piano. As precocious as Chopin was, his countryman Georges Bizet was even younger, just days past his 17th birthday when he penned his Symphony in C. This is a work that languished unheard and unperformed until 1933, when it was discovered in the archives of the Paris Conservatory. Once it was introduced, though, it quickly became a concert staple and reached an even wider audience after Georges Balanchine turned it into a ballet called simply Symphony in C. This is a piece suffused with youthful energy and optimism, full of hints of Mozart and Italian opera. You'll love the third movement with its flavors reminiscent of the Scottish Highlands, about as close as we get to Ireland on this St. Patrick's Day. And the final movement brings both the symphony and our concert to an energetic and breathless conclusion. So I invite you to join me, the Boulder Philharmonic, and guest artist Angela Cheng for a birthday celebration in honor of the great Frédéric Chopin. It's on St. Patrick's Day. What else? Wednesday, March 17th, 7:30 p.m. at Mackey Auditorium. I'll see you there.